you just tell us how the White House is assisting the Secret Service with this investigation? Have you made any White House officials available for interviews with law enforcement, for example?
Well, look, we're not assisting in anything. This is under the Secret Service purview. This is their kind of guidance and guideline, their world, and so we're going to let them do their job. We are not involved in this. This is something that the Secret Service handles. It's under their protocol.
Well, that was tight-lipped Karine Jean-Pierre fielding lots of questions from the White House press corps after cocaine was suddenly discovered at the White House this past week. And the story of where it was found, well, that keeps changing. Let's bring in the former mayor of New York City and also former attorney to President Trump, the host of the hit show America's Mayor Live, my friend Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, how troubling is this that they can't keep their story straight?
So, Rita, let me give you sort of an axiom of teaching investigators, detectives, and assistant U.S. attorneys. When the place that you found the incriminating evidence changes 3 times in 3 days, you have a crime and a big cover-up. You don't change the place you found it 3 times. I'm sorry. 1 mistake, maybe. 3. So first report, it was found in the library on the 1st floor. So I got my little map out and I marked it down. Next day, it was found in the waiting room of the West Wing, which she described as having massive traffic. You know, this is not Grand Central Station, by the way, Rita. It's a waiting room for the President of the United States. It's hardly heavily trafficked. But in any event, that's where they put it the second day. The third day, it moves downstairs to right outside the Situation Room, where the President might have to sit down and decide whether to use nuclear weapons. And we got cocaine sitting right out there. Now, I don't know where it's going to be today, but I do know one thing: they're covering up. And don't tell me differently. You just don't change the place you found it 3 times, and somebody's not screwing around with this case.
You know, and also when the EMS made the original call, it was in the library, as you point out. So why should there be a conflict? The other thing that's interesting, and Rudy, as a prosecutor, you know too, she was asked the question by the White House press corps, and this is when my antennas kind of went up, because she was asked, if the person is found, whoever it is, will they be prosecuted? Will they be held to account? And she couldn't answer that. I mean, that's a basic question, Rudy. It should be, obviously, it's an illegal substance. It's found in the White House, and whoever's responsible will be brought to justice. We take this seriously. Why was that like a trick question suddenly for Karine Jean-Pierre?
Because she is, and she belongs to an administration that is aggressively pro-criminal. And their basic instinct is, you know, don't commit yourself to a prosecution. It may be one of us. And obviously, we're immune from prosecution. And we set up a system of non-justice in which that happens. So she's worried it's going to turn out it's somebody in her office who did it. Or maybe, just maybe, it's the biggest cocaine user in America, or at least as far as we know, Hunter Biden. It is unusual that you find cocaine in the White House, and you've got a guy that I have on tape using cocaine for about 6 years every day. So as an investigator, he's got to be suspect number 1. Now,
by the way, Rudy, too, the times have changed. I'm sure you heard this. Karine Jean-Pierre said to the White House press corps during the briefing that the Biden family was not there on Friday. Now we know from press pool reports that the Biden family was there till 6:30 p.m. on Friday. I mean, she can't even get that fact right. Again, we don't know who is, had the cocaine, but she can't get her facts right.
Well, here's what we can conclude for sure. There's a cover-up going on. Yeah, you and I together have just listed about 5 or 6 separate material changes in a relatively simple story. I'm telling you, New York City detective number X would immediately be telling you they're screwing around with this case.
Yeah, there's
somebody's screwing around with this. That is absolutely patently clear. Yeah. Because they're worried where, when the wheel stops going around, you know what Las Vegas odds are? 2 to 1, it's Hunter.
Well, and you would think, regardless, again, we don't know, but Rudy, it should be a simple question and a simple answer.
I don't think it is Hunter, but he's my number one suspect anyway. I mean, you have to investigate from the point of common sense and logic. So, I mean, there are any number of investigatory textbooks that tell you it always has, your number one suspect is your most likely person. So there may be bigger cocaine users in the White House we don't even know about. But as far as we know right now, this guy is, massive. So you got to put him number one on the list, and you have to at least exclude him. Now, finding this guy should also be relatively easy. The other comment that really bugged me is, and Politico did this one, big headline, we may never find the person who did it. That was the day after it happened. How the hell do they know we're never going to find the person who did it?
Yeah,
The
right.
day
There
after
are.
a crime, you have a pretty good optimistic feeling you're going to find the person. It's
Yeah,
only
it should
about,
be an easy thing. There's surveillance video and all this stuff. Rudy, before we go, I just want to ask you, obviously a lot of headlines in the last 24 hours about the D.C. Disciplinary Committee recommending to have you disbarred. What's your reaction to that?
Not unexpected. I've been shocked if they did anything else. I mean, they are, I would say, integral members of the Washington swamp. I would like people to recognize who they are. These are the lawyers who make their wealth from the kind of business done in the Washington swamp. So do you expect that a person who defended Donald Trump would get a fair hearing with them? The opinion is an outrage of one lie after another. But I mean, they've been doing this for years. They despise Donald Trump. They despise me because, look, I was his most effective spokesman. I took the original ridiculous Russian collusion case where we were way behind, particularly in public opinion, and I shifted it in 1 year of very, very hard legal and interview work. They know that. They also know, even worse, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't know about Joe Biden. I put out the original allegations of criminality in 2018. And of course, I was the last person that John Mac Isaacs went to because nobody else would put out the hard drive. So if there was no Rudy Giuliani, and we could destroy his credibility, there might not be this kind of problem for Joe.
Rudy, thank you very much. We always love having you on, my friend. And